The Lakers get Luka. Steph Curry gets nada. What other moves? What is really out there for them available to do, and do they have the balls to do it? I don't think they do. I think the Warriors are looking at themselves, and they're going to go down with this ship. We got quite a bit to talk about concerning the biggest piece of trading news that I think I've ever seen coming out of the NBA. The fact that Luka Dončić is a Los Angeles Laker is just amazing to me. And there's a part of me that feels like that should not be allowed, how little of a return. And the return is Anthony Davis, a future Hall of Fame basketball player. But still, it's not enough for a 25-year-old Luka Dončić. You know, Dallas talking about how it's worried about his conditioning. Like, shut the hell up, dude. You're worried about what you would have to pay him on the largest Supermax deal the league has ever seen. That's what you're worried about. This is financials. When so much of the conversation about the Warriors and Steph Curry is about and them looking for two timelines, the Lakers just found their other timeline. They're out of the LeBron timeline business now. They're in the Luka Dončić timeline business now. And in the name of being in a two-timeline business, the Warriors are just ending Steph Curry's timeline. Again, the Lakers get Luka, Steph Curry gets nada. The Warriors haven't done to make this season better, this team better. There is so much paralysis by overanalysis going on, and it looks like the one idea that they might have had, we're about to have, to get in business with Jimmy Butler was shut down by Jimmy Butler, who said, I'm not going to sign an extension with you. Thank you, Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler just prevented the Warriors from doing one of the worst things that they could do. And it sounds like they were about to do it. You, of course, have probably already seen the story that the Warriors were very close with the Bulls on both Zach LaVine and Vucevic. They do neither, and LaVine gets put in a three-team trade that has De'Aaron Fox going to San Antonio and LaVine now in Sacramento. So the Warriors, by overanalysis and paralysis, don't get that either. I guess Vucevic is still out there, but come on. They're doing nothing. If the story is true that LeBron was told about this Luka thing, he had no idea. That means he doesn't have nearly the juice with the Lakers that he used to have. And maybe the Lakers are about to then do something crazy like trade LeBron. But I doubt it. I don't think you bring in Luka to now break up Luka and LeBron, because everybody in LA's got a freaking Laker, Luka, LeBron, LeBoner over that. So that's what they're going to turn around and sell. The Warriors will be selling Steph Curry trying to work harder than anyone should ever have to work to get a shot off, while no defense is happening around him and nobody else scores along with him. That's what the Warriors are now selling. It's not great where the Warriors are. Again, the Warriors talked with the Bulls. Mark Stein says that the Golden State Warriors explored a trade with Chicago that would have brought both Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic to the Warriors before deciding to pursue other moves. What other moves? What other moves? What is really out there for them available to do, and do they have the balls to do it? I don't think they do. I think the Warriors are looking at themselves, and they're going to go down with this ship. I don't know why. It seems odd. You're telling me, well, this offseason, they're going to be able to add blah, 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 blah. Well, that's great. Guess what you're going to do? You're going to have wasted one of the few precious remaining years of Steph Curry being a viable centerpiece on a championship team. And that's not even going to come close to happening. I would say that the Warriors right now are closer to the lottery than the playoffs. And that's why they, as they evaluate their own situation, I think they feel that way too. And that's why they're so hesitant to do anything. And the amount of should have done that, but didn't do that are now like officially stacking up against this franchise in a way that I don't know if they can come back from it. I really don't. The amount of things that could have done, might have happened, but didn't because they made other decisions is something else. You know, in any one moment in time, you looked at it and you said, no big deal. But when you add it up and you didn't do that and you didn't do that and you didn't do that and you drafted that guy when you should have drafted that guy, and then you didn't do that and you didn't make that trade and you didn't get aggressive over here for this. And every single time the Warriors are on the wrong end of the stick, whether the trade they did or didn't make, the player they did or didn't take, the James Wiseman decision, having Jonathan Kuminga yet still not being sold internally on who he is, having Draymond Green punch Jordan Poole, that's scuttled a whole year, and whether or not young players even want to be around this team, like, it is something freaking else. Again, the Warriors, what? Did they pivot away from LaVine and Vucevic in the name of they started really batting their eyelashes at Jimmy Butler, only to hear that Jimmy Butler said, I ain't interested in dancing with you for more than one song. So you trade for me, great. I'm not signing an extension, which means you don't trade for Jimmy Butler. Oh, also, with the total jackassery that Jimmy Butler is pulling and just hearing how much he's worn out his welcome in his own locker room and his own teammates don't like him anymore, and teammates not liking Jimmy Butler has officially followed him to 2 or 3 stops. I just don't think there's a part of me that loves Jimmy Butler, the dog. I do. But the way that Jimmy Butler has turned in cantankerous, complaining, meddling Jimmy Butler here at the end, no thanks. Not at the age, not at the price. So Jimmy Butler, I think, helps the Warriors make one of the better decisions that they're not going to make, because he told them, don't trade for me, when they might have been about to, which means had they known that, would they have then gone back to the Bulls to get that LaVine and Vucevic deal? But that it's not available anymore because the Kings jumped all over LaVine, and there you go. More paralysis by overanalysis, maybe? I don't know. But if, the Warriors really did have something cooking with LaVine and Vucevic, and they didn't get aggressive enough to get it done quickly enough, and then they wanted to return to it, but now cannot. Oh, that's embarrassing. That ain't good. That would not be good. Again, that Luka trade, it's the hardest to explain trade for a team to defend in NBA history. Why did you just trade a 25-year-old 30-point walking triple-double who, if we had an NBA dispersal draft, it's between him or Victor Wembanyama being the number 1 overall pick in the draft, and given that Luka's already been selected to several all-star teams and all-pro NBA teams and all that stuff, it's probably Luka. Guy who handles the ball more because he's your point guard. Although Wembanyama is whatever he is, he's just an alien. You can never be taken seriously as a franchise to have an asset like Luka Dončić and think trade. Like the Dallas Mavericks should basically fold the tent and stop playing basketball in the city of Dallas, because how could you ever trust them again as a Mavericks fan? Dončić would have made the largest deal in NBA history. His Supermax would have cost the Mavericks $346 million over 5 years. Now he's going to be eligible for much less than that, because you can't sign a Supermax once you get traded in that first extension. So this is going to cost Luka some money, but the amount of money that he'll be able to do around his career now as a Laker is going to just explode. He will have a $1 billion career when it's all said and done. Here's the thing. The Lakers know how to take care of a superstar. The Dallas Mavericks, outside of Dirk Nowitzki, they don't know how to accommodate that star. And it sounded like the contentious relationship that the Mavericks and Luka Dončić had was insolvable. And they can say and leak all the didn't like his conditioning nonsense that they can. Luka Dončić, as Ryan Russillo said, he could literally be coming up the court with the ball and a cigarette. You give him a Supermax deal. Like, that's who he is. He's that skilled. The guy doesn't even need to play fast to dominate a game. Luka, moving slowly, dominates an NBA game more than De'Aaron Fox has ever dominated a game moving quickly, that's for sure. I'll tell you what's broken about this deal is the amount of money. Like, the NBA has so fuckered itself with Supermax and the current CBA. I mean, you basically got a guy like Luka on a Supermax. That's what franchises used to be worth. Joe Lacob paid for the Golden State Warriors what the Dallas Mavericks will have to pay for Luka. And Mark Cuban, who's officially smarter than any other sports owner out there, I think he bought in at the right time and he got out at the right time. And that's what smart cats do. I think he looks at a league that is going to run into ratings issues, insolvency issues, teams that can no longer afford to keep their best players, which means you're going to have a whole bunch of trust issues with your own fans. I think he's looking at a TV contract that is fuckered. I think he's looking at an economics just reality that isn't not going to be sustainable. And he just decided, I am out. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, we believe that you got to be more defensively minded. Okay, Luka just had your ass in the NBA Finals. Okay, so we traded for Anthony Davis because he's more defensively minded. Oh, yeah, Anthony Davis without LeBron has never been so defensively minded. That team won jack. No matter how hard the Dallas Mavericks try, you can't explain it to me. You can't make it make sense. It's impossible because it doesn't. Unless the answer is, we're too cheap to play in these deep waters. And that, I think, is the more truth to it than anything else. Thanks for watching. Tune into the Damon Bruce Show live on YouTube every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific.